Come on in, family. Beautiful day to you all, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Come on in. If you can hear me and see me well, you know the deal and the routine. Put a number 9 in the chat. Also, make sure as you come in that you are liking. It's very simple things. We work hard to warn you all. We work hard to get this content out to you all, these light codes, this information, this knowledge, this wisdom. So you guys like, share, comment, support in all the ways that you can. This is our ministry. So definitely show us your support. All of us who do this, on a regular basis for you guys. It's not easy, especially when we're trying to get things together in our own lives. Okay, and we have our own families and things of that nature, but we're also trying to take care of the global family. So go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you comment, make sure that you share, make sure that you support in all the ways that you can. Also, when you are looking at the content on my channel, please do not skip the ads. Please don't skip the ads. Okay? That's another way that we generate revenue, and that's another way to show your appreciation for the content creator. Okay? So, I see some people are coming in. Again, make sure that you're hitting the like button. For each person that comes in, there should be a thumbs up. Okay? So if you can hear me and see me, put a number 9 in the chat. Okay, so who do we have? Healing Juice, welcome. Thank you for the number 9. Coming soon. We love you, Mahogany. It's a shame how they are treating Haitians. Yes, I love you back. I love you back. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. There about 9 seconds or so, and then we'll get started. So you guys, make sure that you're hitting the like button when you're coming in. Make sure you're doing that. So let me just go ahead and get this out of the way before we start. So I want to read the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research, nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips, the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so we've gotten that out of the way. So yes, family. So welcome to Journey Through Alkebulan. I am Mahogany. For those of you all who are new, you all are very much so welcome. So as you all have seen the thumbnail, I'm sure you have seen it all over the place of the Texas Border Patrol with horses and whips to deter our Haitian brothers and sisters from seeking asylum. So we know about, the whips and the chains and all of that. We know about that history. So it shouldn't be a shock. Okay, this is the way that the system can always treat our people. They're always reminding us how much they hate us. They're always reminding us of the disdain that they have for us, of the disrespect, the utter disrespect that they have for us, and that they don't see us essentially as human at all. At all. So the whips and the horses and all of those things, this is nothing new. This is them reminding you, in case you forgot, because you have your corporate job now, and you drive your fancy car, and you have your nice house and maybe a picket fence, 2.5 kids. You're surviving in this oppressive system. So in case you forgot, let me remind you, Negroes, your place. And you're not going to come here. We barely like the ones we have here, although this is their land. Okay, quiet as it's kept. So we definitely don't need any more you Negroes here. Okay? With wrangling our brothers and sisters in, like deterring them with a whip, as if they are cattle. As if they are cattle. They're reminding you how they see you. So we know this. So I want you guys to see, the dichotomy of, how they treat our people versus how they treat others. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to read an article. Okay, so just bear with me. I want you all to hear. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just bear with me. Okay, here we are. Just listen to this. Okay, so this article is from Al Jazeera. Okay, so it says that this article was updated on September the 21st, 2021. So it says the U.S. House approves $6.3 billion for Afghan refugee resettlement. Let me read it again. The U.S. House approves $6.3 billion for Afghan refugee resettlement. That's all I need to read. It's just, okay? That's all I need to read is the headline. So the Afghan refugees get 6.3 million set aside by our government, okay? By the government of the US, the corporation of the United States, I'll put it that way. They've set aside 6.3 million. But our brothers and sisters from Haiti are being met with whips as if they are cattle. Do you see the dichotomy? But we still seem to think that there is hope. Guess who's allowing this, you guys? For those of you all who went out there and you voted for another master over you, yet again, when none of them have done anything for our nation, the so-called African Americans. They've done nothing for us ever, but you still allow these celebrities to coerce you into thinking that every new puppet, okay, because even the one that they play in the US is a puppet. Every new puppet is going to be different. Every new administration is going to be different. And they come up with these catchy slogans, and they get you all, real, and they get you all sold on a pipe dream. And you still believe them. You still believe them. So those of you all who went out there and you voted, right? Oh, because Kamala Harris, who, by the way, is MIA. And isn't she half like like half Jamaican and then half Indian? She's supposed to be a woman of color. And she happens to be the VP. So where is she? Where's her voice? Where is her support? All of you all who went out there and voted for her because she's considered a woman of color. All of you all who went out there and you voted because she happens to be a part of a sorority. It's a joke. Where is she? You should have known who her allegiance was to. All you have to look at is her husband. That's who her allegiance is to, not you. Sorry to tell you. So the Afghan refugees can get 6.3 million and we get nothing but whips, our people. So what are we going to do about it? At this juncture, we should know that this system is not for us. It was never designed for us. And I don't know, like, what's wrong with us psychologically that we continue to fight to be a part of a system that was never, ever created to include us. But quite the contrary, something is psychologically wrong with us. Again, we need to point the finger at ourselves because something is clearly psychologically wrong with us. We keep on voting these people in, hoping and wishing for a change, and change never comes. Even under your dear President Obama, that you love so much, just because his skin looked like yours, and he did absolutely nothing for us. But they convinced you to again go out there, these catchy slogans, got your favorite celebrities, and they got you sold again on a pipe dream, and you believed it. And yet again, you believed it this time with this woman of color who is MIA, who happens to be half Jamaican. And she said nothing. And this administration, the whole administration, obviously is in approval of this inhumane, disgraceful treatment of our Haitian brothers and sisters. These people are stolen land. And they're pushing away our brothers and sisters. And we just sit by and we let them. And we sit by and we complain. Well, I want us to do something different. If we want something different, we have to do something different. We have done enough of, a great job of being like complain warriors. We've done enough of complaining. What are we going to do about it? We have to totally remove ourselves from this system. We have to totally remove ourselves from this system. That's the only solution at this juncture. Haven't you had enough? What more do you need? First, there was sand thrown. Then there were little pebbles. Then the rocks. Now you've got big ass boulders being thrown at you to wake the hell up. What is wrong with us? Really, Quayle, the treatment of our brothers and sisters, it's not a surprise. So all of us that are acting surprised, it's not a surprise. This has been the same treatment, the same MO for hundreds upon hundreds of years. But the thing about our people is that we are so easily rocked to sleep. Rocked to sleep. I see the shit every day. All it takes is someone who is non-melanated to dance like us and do it well, to mimic us in the best way. And we get so excited and hyped. We invite them to the cookout. It takes so little to rock us back to sleep. Give us just a little bit of privilege. You know, let one of us into your esteemed institutions. And we're just clapping and applauding, and we're just so happy, and it just makes us think that there's hope. Oh, the system is working. It's, you know, they're recognizing us. It's a farce. It's a farce. How much longer are we going to allow these people to make an utter fool of us? Because we are the laughing stock of the whole entire world. We are the laughing stock of the whole entire world. We go out there with our signs. Justice. We go out there with our signs, and then a few weeks later, we're right back to normal until something else happens. And then we're going out there again with our signs. We do it for a couple of weeks or so. And then we go back to our normal lives. And then you know what that's called? It's called insanity. You're doing the same thing and you're expecting a different result. That's insanity. We are insane, family. We are insane. And we have got to heal ourselves. We have got to get ourselves together. We are a laughing stock. So this is not about our utter shock about the way that they're treating our brothers and sisters, because this is the way that they've always treated us. It shouldn't be a surprise. This is to remind you how they precede you, how very much they hate you, how very much they don't see you as human. They don't value your life at all. This was to remind you. So now what are we going to do about it? We have to exit, family. We are in perilous times. We are at the door. It's over. I don't know what more to say. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. That's why soon there will be no more warnings from Mahogany, Journey Through Alkebulan, or Mahogany Speaks Truth. There will be no more. The spirit is saying it's about time to close down the throat chakra as it relates to warnings. Because if you don't see it now, you will never, ever see it. You won't. So what are we going to do? It is time for us to rebuild our nation. That's it. We have to exit. We have to totally exit this system. It is not for us, family. It's not. They don't like us. They never will. Let's see what we have here. Yes, they will reap what they have sown. But we also have to be a people of action. And we have to do more than just, complain and verbalize our disdain. We have to be a people of action. It has to be coupled with action. Bayou BZ, we have no move to Africa. Love America. America is not our home. healing juice. We have to start with removing ourselves from the rebels in our own community who are holding the rest of us back and perpetuating the devil's agenda. Well, here's the thing. There has always been tares amongst ourselves that look just like us. And if you really want to know the truth, behind all of this, on a spiritual level, it's an entity that looks just like us. You have to know that. You have to know that. We're actually the majority, not the minority. So stop calling yourself the minority, the minor, someone who needs, a parental guidance. We've never been a minority. We're like the sand of the sea. We are the majority. And there's always been tares planted amongst us. So we have to know that and then know how to counteract that and move accordingly. So we can no longer allow anybody else to hold us back from doing what we have to do to re-erect our nation, to protect our nation. This is nation time. It's been about nation time. I just want us to get it. The individualism is done. In the spirit world, we are one, and we have to move that way because the earth is turning back into, we're going back into a spiritual existence. And so our vibrations have to be aligned with that. We have to move in that way. We have to think in that way, just naturally, holistically. We are a nation. We are a nation wherever we are. We have to move like that. Everyone gets it except for us. So yes, we've always had tares, but we can no longer allow those tares to prohibit us from re-erecting our nation and protecting it with every fiber of our being. Okay. No, white folks need to stop being ugly towards us. We doing what we supposed to, but we need to stay strong and form up. We can't be concerned about white people being ugly to us. Like, we cannot be concerned about anybody. I mean, it's like you all still aren't getting it. Why are we concerned about anybody's mistreatment of us? We already know how they feel about us for the most part. They have shown us this time and time and time again. So again, we have to have tunnel vision right now. This is not about what anybody thinks of us. Who cares? We have to know who we are and move accordingly. If you're still concerned about what another nation thinks of you, and if you already don't know what they think of you, then you're just not getting it, and you probably won't get it. And I'm just keeping it raw and real. We should not be concerned about what anybody thinks of us. We already know what they think of us. It doesn't matter what they think of us. It doesn't matter how they're treating us, because this is the way that they've always treated us. We're the ones with the problem in thinking that as the years progress, that this treatment is supposed to be eradicated. When we still haven't done what we're supposed to do to dismantle this system so that we can get things back in balance and take our rightful place. But you're still worried about if somebody likes you or if somebody's being ugly. That's who they are. Whomever is exhibiting that behavior, that's who they are. There's a saying: when people show you who they are, believe them. Okay, so Healing Juice says, Bayou Breezy, moving to Africa solves nothing. I'm in Tanzania now, and the spirit of revolution is not here at all. The minds of the people here are asleep. You know, sadly, that's the truth. There was like, I can see that there is like a delay, you know, in consciousness, you know, if you will. I can see that as well, and I can concur that the spirit of awakening has not is not here. You know, it's not here in the magnitude, you know, as it is in America or in the West. You know, it's not. There's a lag. There's definitely a lag. Okay, so moving here does give us an advantage on the continent. Um, the quality of life is better, but we can also form a nation much better. We can acquire land in certain lands. Okay, we are allowed to acquire land. You know, that will allow us to build up, you know, our community and build our nation. Um, Financially, it's a lot easier to do it here on the continent. Okay, it's a lot easier. But this whole, you know what, okay, the NWO, what's going on now, it is global. You guys, when I was in Ghana, I mean, it was like in full effect. The mask wearing was like, it was just everywhere. Everyone was in a mask. You needed it, you know, to go into every store. You needed it while you were outside. They literally had officers while, you know, drivers were driving. They had officers stationed on the road checking to make sure that the drivers and the passengers have on masks in Ghana. I mean, you're asked about it everywhere you go. So I want to set the expectation that you don't think that coming to Alkebulan, Africa, you know, that it will somehow that you will escape. Okay, this whole pandemic, you won't. Okay, pandemic. It's definitely in full effect, more so in other lands than some, but it does give us an advantage coming here because economically it's easier for us to acquire land, which is important in establishing a nation. You must have a land. You must have land. And then we have to build on that land. And, you know, make sure that we secure it, you know, make sure, you know, that we know how we're supposed to be. What are the laws, the rules that we're going to live by so that we can live in peace and harmony. But thinking that you're coming to Africa to escape the pandemic, that's not realistic. But it does give us an advantage economically because we can land here, and we can build a nation here upon that land. And not to say that you can't do it in the West. There are some who have done so. I hear that there's a group of brothers and sisters who have done that in Georgia, that they've gotten together and they've acquired a large amount of land, and they are all living together, you know, on that land. And that's a beautiful thing. Wherever we are, we're not going to all be in one place. We never were just in one place. We were throughout the entire planet. I am saying wherever we are, we need to understand that we are one. We are one nation. That's what we need to. We are one nation wherever we are, and we are together wherever we are. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah. And we need to, and what is our culture? We've created cultures, within the nations in which we live or the systems in which we've been subjected to. But what is our culture? I mean, I'm sure most of us here, I'm not, but us as our I'm talking about us as a one people. I'm sure that a lot of you guys, you're still celebrating Mother's Day, right? You're still celebrating their Father's Day, and there's nothing wrong with honoring thy mother and thy father. But why do we have to do it on the day and in the way that they have designed for us to do so? That's something that I wanted to come up with for such a long time, is that we pick a day that we want to honor our mother and our father, and how and then we design how it looks, the ceremony, how we would like for it to go. These are the things that we need to start doing so that we can re-erect our nation. These are the things that we need to be thinking about and implementing. We need to stop perpetuating this system. We need to stop perpetuating their culture and accepting it as if it's our own. We're still celebrating the 4th of July. Still so excited about Juneteenth becoming like official. I mean, again, it takes so little to rock us back to sleep. We need to leave the system alone completely, family, completely. And the day that we make our exit from this system, it will be completely dismantled. But this is not for the faint of heart. It's not, because you see the way that they're moving. You see that the fear tactics. So if you're afraid, that to exit because you feel like you will not be able to sustain yourself, then you're not ready. There is nothing for us to fear. You're afraid to lose fiat currency, fake money. It's not real. This is all an illusion that we have accepted, and thus it has created this reality that we're locked into because we believe it. We believe it. We're the ones that's holding this matrix up because in our minds, we still believe it to be true. So in the comment section, tell me where you guys are. Who's okay? So I know someone said that they're here in Tanzania. Who was it? Healing Juice. So Healing Juice, you're in TZ. Is there anyone else on the chat that's on the continent? Wherever you are, put where you are. And then I would like to know how many of you all, if you are not already on the continent, have a desire to move to the continent. And those that have the desire to move to the continent, I would like to know what is prohibiting you from doing so. So you guys let me know in the comment section. We have not always been the minority. That's according to this system. That's according to the oppressor. We have never, ever been the minority. Go to Black's Law Dictionary and look up minority. And then hopefully from this day forward, or once you get the knowledge, the light code, you will never ever consider yourself to be a minority again. We have to remember that words are energy. They emit a frequency. So every time that you call yourself a minority, you are perpetuating your own enslavement as a minority. You are perpetuating, your low stature, because a minor, think of your children or children who are not adults, right? They're not capable of making certain decisions for themselves, right? They need parental guidance. This is all wordplay, spells that we're speaking every day, and we don't know that we're doing it. We are not a minority. We never have been a minority. Again, go and look up Black's Law Dictionary and put in minority, and it will give you the proper definition and context. Okay, so Bat Yisrael, Atlanta, Georgia, plan to move to Tanzania after I repair and sell my house. Okay. And do you have, Bat Yisrael, do you have any concerns about, your move to the continent? Do you have any type of concerns about moving to the continent? So we have one that's in Atlanta. I know someone is already here in Tanzania. And is there anyone else who is on the continent that's in the chat? Anybody else? So it's family, it's time. It is time for us to exit the system. That is my message for today. I'm not going to harp on the mistreatment of our brothers and sisters, because this should be no shock to us. This is a reminder from the oppressor how they feel about us and our people. This is a reminder. And I need to make I saw someone in the chat say that, America is not our home. You all need to understand, for those who don't know, that America is our land as well. It is our land. Those indigenous, listen to the words that Christopher Columbus, encountered with the melanated interpreter. Those people look just like us. That was our people that they encountered. And it's cited in many, many books about how those people looked and the color of their skin. We spoke Hebrew. There was also a thing of Latin Hebrew. We spoke also Latin. Okay, yeah. So that is our land. The Olmecs, who they call the Mayans, but it's the Olmecs. That's our ancestors. So that is our land. Okay? So that land is stolen land. And I'm not going, I've done a video. All you guys have to do is go through the content. I just did a video kind of giving a summarization, on Amaruca. Okay, Amaruca, which they now call America. And how the U.S. corporation, which is headquartered in the District of Columbia, was formed. So that is also our land. Okay? But you know what, Norma, welcome. Norma Salvato, welcome. You said you're from New Jersey. Okay. And you're waiting for money to make that move. Family. Yes, be wise. But we have to realize that we're in a war. If you don't know that we're in a war, I'm telling you, we are in a war. And just because it doesn't look like the war that you may be accustomed to seeing, we are indeed in a war. And so let's look at all of these asylum seekers, you know, who have been pushed from their land, whether by a natural catastrophe or war within their land. They're not thinking about accumulating a certain amount of money or fiat currency if you're in the West. They're trying to survive. And they know that if we do this together, that's the thing. Even if it's not, you know, let's say they have one person make it out from the family, but as a nation, they are still one family. So let's say one son made it out, and then, you know, there are other refugees, but they're from the same homeland. They're still going to move as one, and they're going to take that one son in as their own. And they're still going to move as one, and they're going to make it happen wherever they are, however they need to. So what I'm saying is, yes, be wise. I'm not saying just, you know, come unprepared, but I am saying that you may not have as much time as you think that you have. And you have to watch what's going on, you guys. It's actually time for us to take the money out of the system, because very soon that money is not going to be accessible. I'm telling you, very soon that money is not going to be accessible. You see that the way that they're moving. If they don't like what you're doing or what you're saying, and you got that juice, okay, then they can block you from your money, period. They can block it because it's all through DD. It's all through direct deposit. So they can easily just say, oh, no. But very soon, you know, the dollar is becoming weak, you guys. It's becoming weak, and all the signs are in front of you. It's crumbling. We have to finish it off, and we have the power to do that. It is crumbling. So I don't want you thinking that you have all this time to stack all of this fiat currency, because you don't. You just don't. And I have to be honest with you guys, you don't. So I hope that you're able to make it over soon. Yamoja, Dantor, Amazon, Chobani, and UPS have agreed to house and employ Afghan refugees, yet the Haitians seeking the same support get turned away from the shores of Florida and Texas. Not a shock. I mean, it's like I hear people go into like these real deep, you know, articulate, you know, dialogues about, you know, the mistreatment of us wherever we are. And it's just like, okay, we know this, you know, we know this, but what are we going to do about it, family? It's disgusting. Absolutely. What are we going to do about it? Are they going to reap what they have sown? Abso-freaking-lutely. And it's here now. But what are we going to do about ourselves? How are we going to govern ourselves when this thing totally crumbles? We need to have our nation intact and in place. We need to have a plan for ourselves. This is what I'm saying. Yes. Yes, we love to talk. So this is why I'm not going to go into what what I'm doing, but we have to start somewhere. So I'll say this: if you build it, they will come. And this is not just going to be, a one woman show, but I have to start something. And then a select few will be able to join in. So still, if you have a skill and you are of the right mind, like mind, then please do email me at journeythroughalkebulon and let me know what your skill is. When you plan on coming to the continent, and where on the continent you plan on relocating to. Okay. So again, it's journeythroughalkebulon@gmail.com. So it's time for us to re-erect our nation. I'm not going to say too much. We know what's involved in building a nation. And if you don't, then ask your spirit to reveal it to you. Ask your inner universe, rather, to reveal it to you. Okay? Again, we're going back into the spirit. The physical is passing away. So it's time for us to go back to telepathy. The universe records everything. It records everything. This is not a safe place for us to be discussing plans and intricate details about how we're going to rebuild our nation. This is not the place for that. And anybody doing that is very foolish. And you need to question their sanity. We know who owns this platform, and you have to know that you're being watched. So it's time. It's time to exit out. Either you in it or you're not. Either you're in it or you're not, but it's time. You've been warned. That's what this live was about. I want to see where the minds and the hearts of the people are. We can talk about how these people treat us all day long. If we had a penny for every time they have mistreated us, misrepresented us, miseducated, those of you all who are retired, you need to be figuring out, or you have, something stacked up. You need to be figuring out how you're going to convert that into real money. You need to be figuring out how you're going to convert your fiat currency into real money. We're going to go back to a system where we're bartering. So those who never throw anything away, they got stacks of old, computers or, whatever it is, you're ahead of the game. But we're going back to a system of bartering. And even myself, I had to tell myself, because I was paying a gardener and I'm over here just living it up, with other people doing the things that I really need to be doing myself as it relates to, me growing my own food. I know how, but it's me with the time. But today I said, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to do my own gardening. And it felt so good, you guys. It felt so good. And I got out there and I was sweating, sweat was pouring down, and I was paying homage, to all of the dadas and the kakas, the brothers and the sisters, wherever. I saw it in Ghana, in Tanzania. And I'm sure it's like that throughout the entire continent, where every day, early in the morning, they're getting up, especially when I was living in the village, in Arusha. They work hard and they're out there and they're planting and they're plowing and they're watering. I did that, today, and it felt great. So it's time for us to return back to our natural selves. It's time for us to return back to community and to nation. That is the only way, you guys, that we need to be moving. That is the only way that we're going to obtain our freedom and our liberation. We were born divinely in freedom and power, but we have given that up to a system that was never created for us. It has given us sporadic inclusions, and that has pacified us and put us into a deep sleep and making us think that we're somehow a part of the system. You know, we somehow have some power in it, some say in it. We don't. It was never meant for us. It's time for us to re-erect our nation. That's what it's time for. It's no more crying. There's no more time for crying. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, we still may bring about, you know, the news and things like this. We're going to bring it to the forefront. But again, at the end of the day, it's about what are we going to do about it, family? What are we going to do about it? This is not the way that God's, this is not the life of a God. I have said that ye are gods. It's not. This is not the life of a royal nation. It's not. It's a joke. We're talking about, oh, how royal we are, which in fact we are by blood. But are we moving in that way? Hell no. So it's a joke. It's nothing but just a meaningless a title with no back it or validate it. If you're royal, behave as such. So what are we going to do about it? So those who are ready to exit the system, if you're ready to exit the system, let me know. Okay? You let me know. And we're going to go from there. It's time to build. We're going to create our own high days. Okay, whether it be us honoring the mothers and the fathers, you know, of our nation. It's time for us to create our own days, and we'll collaborate together as to what those types of, what the ceremonies should, what should be entailed, in the ceremonies. It's time for us to create our own culture. Okay. Stop participating in this fake culture. And it's time for us to create our own. It's time for us to just be our own natural selves. We have to, that's the only way we're going to dismantle the system. The system is not going to be dismantled by itself. We are the ones that are going to dismantle the system. And that is indicative of us exiting out. We're going to have to exit out of this system and re-erect our nation, create our culture. That's how we dismantle the system. That's the only way. That is the only way. And if you're not about that life, this channel is not for you. And if you're not about that life, you're going to be left behind. And if you don't know that the time is now you know. So I'm going to give a few shout outs before I go ahead and close out. We need to move through the spiritual realm to build Haiti and the continent, because this is not a physical fight. It is not. This is definitely, there's the physical is a representation of the spiritual. So, okay. So there is also a spiritual war, and it's reflecting and it's playing out on this physical plane. Okay. So absolutely we need to return back to our in here and stop looking outwardly. In here. That's why I said we have to heal ourselves. Yesterday, that's what the live was about, healing ourselves. Knowing ourselves, which is the greatest commandment. Know thyself. That's our greatest power. And when we know ourselves, then we know exactly what we have to do. So yes, absolutely. We have to take care of ourselves internally, mentally. This is what you need to be guarding with everything, because the universe is mental. So we need to be renewed by the transforming of our minds. Okay? Be ye transformed, by the renewing of our minds. So we need to renew our minds. We need to bethink ourselves and really wake up to who we truly are. Not just say it, but again, it needs to be the actions need to support that. And when you really truly know, the actions will automatically support. So I hear all of this, but it's not real. It's just talk, and talk is cheap. So if you're ready to exit, contact me. Those of you all who have skills, you are like-minded, you want to be a part of a community, down with re-erecting our nation, contact me. And it's time for us to just exit out. That's what I have to say. That is what I have to say. And then we need to figure out how we're going to support our sisters and brothers from Haiti. And the sister was saying we need to be doing our spiritual work. So we definitely need to be doing that. That is very important as it relates to our brothers and sisters. You know, the brothers and sisters from Haiti are very powerful beings. You know, they fought the French. They defeated them multiple times, had them folks throwing in that white flag, calling a truce. And they have been angry ever since then. And they have been making Haiti pay ever since then. Had the nerve to make our brothers and sisters pay them reparations. All of the natural catastrophes, the earthquakes that have happened in Haiti, and you have these organizations, okay, like RC and the rest of them, collecting money, large sums of money on behalf of our brothers and sisters, and they see none of it. None of it. So we have to figure out what is the best way for us to support our brothers and sisters, okay, on the ground, whether we're giving to an organization that is that's founded by an actual brother and sister who is from Haiti, that is on the ground. You know, I'll be looking around, and I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys updated if I find out, you know, what organization is trustworthy enough for us to send our financial support. But the most important thing is that we send our spiritual support. So we need to be doing our chants. We need to be speaking to the universe on our brothers and sisters' behalf, okay? That they are protected, okay? And that they are provided for. And that's why it's important for us to build our nation. So instead of them asking this system for asylum, that they already have communities built by us where they can seek asylum. But once the system is dismantled, there really will be no need for them to seek asylum. Now we just join together to rebuild our nation in our lands. It's the system is the problem. And we are a part of that problem because we continue to participate in it. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. All right, you guys. So peace, love, and light. Until next time, you all be good. Let's do our spiritual work so that we can support our brothers and sisters. If I found out a trustworthy organization that's actually founded by a brother or sister who is from Haiti and that's actually on the ground, that has a reputable, reputation in handling, the funds that's coming in to be distributed to the sisters and brothers so that they have the things that they need to survive. So if anyone here knows of such an organization, please comment and let me know or send me an email. And if I find out anything, I will let you guys know. First, we support them spiritually, and then we need to gather together and support them, financially. But this is why it's important us to build these nations, build these communities under our banner of one nation. That's how it was in America. All those different, who they call the different tribes, they were nations, not tribes. They were nations, and they were under banner. Okay? So, and I'm grateful. I have a griot that's left in my family, my great aunt, and she has done a phenomenal job at recalling our family's history. I love time traveling with her. And time traveling, what I mean is going through our family tree. That's a form of time traveling. And so I would encourage you all too, if you have someone in your family who knows your family history, the family tree, sit at their feet, get all the information that you need. That's a part of knowing thyself. My grandmother has told me about, my great aunt has told me about my great grandmother. I think she said she was a Blackfoot, the Blackfoot Nation. So I have ties in Moruca. And also, as you guys know, my great grandfather is Wallace Acuna Johnson from Sierra Leone. And then we also have ties to Guinea-Bissau. So it's important to know, your family tree. So sit at the feet of the griot of your family, and ask them all the questions that you need so that you can acquire the knowledge of thyself. Knowing thyself is also knowing thy history. It's also knowing thy ancestors, knowing your family tree. So that's important. But it's important for us to build these many communities throughout the earth. It's important. And it's important for us to come together and be of a help to one another so that our sisters and brothers are not looking for help in the wrong places and being met with whips. Okay? It's time for us to step up to the plate and help ourselves. All right. Until next time, you all be good.